The public reveal for the IONIQ 5 happened this weekend. I was lucky enough to be there. Hyundai invited me out to South Beach. We had a party, a rooftop party with the IONIQ 5, and I'm going to answer all of your questions that you had about the vehicle. I'm not going to go over every single detail of the car. I'm not going to go over the press release, which came out a few days before the public unveil. I'll give you that link in the description so you guys can go to Hyundai's website and look at all the nitty-gritty small details. I'm still trying to find out whether I really like the looks of the vehicle or not. I think there are amazing things about the vehicle that I really dig, especially the interior, but the lights are made out of small little cubes, and that is a theme throughout the design of the car. You'll see little cubes imprinted on the exterior and the interior upholstery, steering wheel, etc. That's kind of like the theme of this car. But also on the exterior, you have these lines that kind of crisscross about the vehicle, and I don't know how I feel about the lines. I think the vehicle would look better without them, especially the weird ones on the wheel arches. I don't know how to feel about those aerodynamic lines on the wheel arches, but I'm just a big sucker for those retro cube LED rear taillights and front headlights and blinker lights, and you even have cube LED lights on the mirrors, which I'm a big fan of. I don't know what else to say. And the wheels look amazing in person. The glossy mesh pattern that's black and it's like a machine finished. They are absolutely massive, and you really don't see a whole lot inside of the wheel. You don't see like the rotors, which maybe they don't need the cooling as you traditionally would on the brake rotors, because the electric motors will help slow down the car. Yeah, it's a very cool wheel design that I really haven't seen before, and it's definitely going to catch some eyes. All right, time to get into your questions because this is important. Mohammed Al-Jabari says, what is starting price of fast charger? Well, the fast charger is included. All of them are 800 volt by standard. When can we buy it? It'll be available this fall here in the States, and it is not available in every single state. But here are the states. It'll be in the 10 zero emission vehicle states. Of course, California, the West Coast states, probably New York is in there as well. And then you have Texas, Florida, Illinois, Georgia, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, and Arizona. So it's quite a wide rollout of availability. There will be a broader rollout in 2022. Now, we don't have official pricing. I'm going to take a stab at it, and I'm going to say $45K starting for the rear-wheel drive model. That's just a guess. And $50K for the all-wheel drive model. It might be a little bit more than that because it might have a little bit more features as well. But we don't have official packaging or pricing yet. But definitely stay tuned to the channel because I will update you guys when Hyundai shares that with us. Marco says, what are the biggest things that makes it stands out for the competitors? Kevin says interior cabin space. That is true. I'll talk about that. It charges faster, 18 minutes to 80%. So 10% to 80%, I believe, is 18 minutes, as long as you can find a 350 kilowatt charger. Good luck with that. They're not at every street corner, that's for sure. And the looks absolutely. Nothing else looks like it. It is eye-catching. And like I said, I like a lot of things about the design. And then there are some parts I'm like, I don't know. It doesn't look like it's right. It looked like some things are a little bit over designed, like those lines. But the interior is phenomenal. The amount of floor space you have is strange because I don't drive a lot of electric vehicles, but you in the driver and front passenger seat, you have just a chasm of leg room and emptiness. There's like a small little center console for putting stuff in, and then you have your movable armrest is like more of a party trick. Like, to me, it's not that big of a deal. I can see maybe if you're reclining and you wanted the armrest to come back with you, I don't know how often you'll be moving that center console. But the materials on the interior, the seats, the pattern on the seats, the panels on the doors, the dash, almost everything was soft touch. It is a phenomenal interior, and it's kind of what you would expect from a Hyundai interior at this point in time because they've been doing a phenomenal job at their designs, and this might be the best one I've ever sat in from Hyundai. So yes, it is good. Will there be a lower spec trim available? The 20-inch wheels, flush door handles, huge dashboard screens seems like a bunch of overkill. Yeah, I do think you'll be able to see a model without the 20-inch wheels. At least that's what I'm guessing. I think all of them will have flush door handles. All of them will have the huge door dashboard screens, I'm assuming. So the lower spec model only might be the rear wheel drive model. Again, don't have official packaging. Expected release date, it's going to be this fall. Also all-wheel drive. Yeah, you have a rear-wheel drive and an all-wheel drive model, 1 battery pack here in America. Let's just go to the spreadsheet because you guys seem to be always asking questions about it. The all-wheel drive model only gets about 250 miles of range. We only get 1 battery pack here in America, which is a 77.4 kilowatt hour. Now this model is going to be more expensive. Then the rear wheel drive model has a lot more power, a lot more torque. It is faster, more than 2 seconds faster to 60 miles per hour. Like 7.3 is not really that quick for the rear wheel drive model, but that's the one that's going to give you the 300 miles of range. It's also going to come in cheaper. Grant says, does the screen have a dark mode option? Oh, he can't stand a white background in any screen display. He blames Apple for it. Yes, there's a dark mode. So at night, when the lights were on, the screens turned to a dark themed. So yeah, rest assured, you'll be fine there. Alejandro Tapia says, is the back seat legroom comfortable enough? Unfortunately, I did sit in the back seat, but I can't tell you how much room like there is per se. You got to keep in mind, I was in and out of the car when tons of people were getting in and out of the car, and I just didn't have all that much time to really like sink my thoughts into every little aspect of the vehicle. So the legroom in the rear seat is supposed to be very competitive for compact crossovers. And that rear seat can recline. It can also slide forward and back about 5 inches. When I get a chance to fully review the car, I'll be able to give you a better impression on that. Scratchy Master, 600 horsepower motors are coming in an in package, right? I don't know. I mean, I doubt it, but anything's possible. You know, this is my feeling. Is that I don't know if there's going to be anything over this package right here in terms of power for the IONIQ5 or the IONIQ6. Could they? Of course. If I had a luxury brand that's going to have an EV based on the same eGMP platform, wouldn't you want to have like this right here, this model to be the base model, and for your top model to be like the EV6 from Kia? That would make sense for me. So time will tell. I don't expect a really high performance IONIQ5 anytime soon though. Sam says, please put a car seat in the back when I get a chance to actually review it. Probably fall or winter, who knows. Jihosh Matthew, interior quality is fantastic. It's probably my favorite thing about the car is just the interior is really, really, really nice. We have a few more questions on my Instagram. Hopefully you don't have to look at my face too much. I'll zoom in on the questions here. Gervaz BTW, looking at it in public, what vehicle type would you classify it as? I would classify it as a hatchback. To me, it's not a crossover. It's definitely not a sedan. It doesn't sit that much. To me, it sits about as high as like, let's say like a Lexus UX, which is a hatchback, right? Even though it's a crossover, but it's like a lifted hatchback. That's what I kind of see this. It doesn't have a ton of ground clearance. So I would classify it as a hatchback. That's just me. Mikey in Vegas, what is the cargo capacity? The cargo capacity is pretty substantial. You have a massive wheelbase on this vehicle, which is larger than let's say the Hyundai Palisade at 118 inches. And the IONIQ5 has more passenger volume with 106.5 cubic feet when compared to the Mustang Mach-E with 101 and the ID4 at 100. Behind the rear seats, you get 27 cubic feet of cargo space, and when you fold down the seats, it stretches to 59, almost 60 cubic feet of cargo space. I didn't pop the hood on this vehicle. I believe there's also a frunk. It's not going to give you a ton of cargo space, but that should allow you to put an extra duffel bag or two in the front as well. So Obi-Wan Shinobi says, don't you hate it when the prototype looks amazing and then the actual car they release doesn't compare? Is the IONIQ5 picture going to look exactly like that? Well, the IONIQ5 that I've been showing you, this is the production version, and it is going to be looking exactly like the car you've been seeing in the video so far. I think it looks really, really similar to the IONIQ 45 or the Hyundai 45 concept. I mean, it's pretty darn close to the concept, and the normal person would not be able to tell the difference between the two. So, I mean, if you don't like the design of the car, I totally understand. It's definitely polarizing. I think it looks better in person than it does in pictures, but it's so radical that it's just like, I don't know if I like it or not. Hopefully that makes sense. Jacob Builds It says, classy, but I like the Kia GT better, or the EV. You're probably referring to the EV6 GT. Yeah, that car is going to be faster. It's more of a traditional swoopy, more curvy, more artistic vehicle, where this is definitely more of a robotic feel to it. And it looks like the last question here, which is similar to the previous questions I had, but he says, what's the vibe of the materials and interior? It's very roomy. You have tons of space, especially around your legs in the front. It is not nearly as minimalist as Tesla. To me, it feels like a normal car. The weird shifter thing for parking and drive, that's weird to me. It looks like it's, I don't know. It's just really strange. The screens look really good though. The climate control, even though it's touch sensitive, it's not physical buttons. It's very responsive. It works really, really well. And no one asked about the heads-up display. So the heads-up display in this thing was very interesting. So this heads-up display has an augmented reality mode, which essentially turning the windshield into a display screen. Now, I didn't get a chance to drive the vehicle, obviously, but sitting in the driver's seat looking at the heads-up display, to me it just looked like a big font heads-up display. But I'm sure when you're driving, it's going to change that heads-up display massively. It just feels a little bit closer to you than a lot of other heads-up displays where that information feels further away. Guys, I'll end it there. I ran out of your questions. I'm sure you'll have questions down below. I'll do my best to answer them. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to smash the like button. Make sure you're subscribed for more Hyundai, Kia, all Korean auto news. But of course, you guys know bread and butter is also Japanese auto news and reviews. So guys, I'll catch you in the next video. And thank you, because without your guys' support, I would not have been able to go to this event. So thank you guys. I appreciate all that you do for me. Catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.